Firefighters in Palmyra battled a fire at an American Legion Hall yesterday. This fire damaged the inside of the building, but important memorabilia and ceremonial rifles were saved. So the Palmyra Public Safety Department says crews were called to Legion Post 304 around 11:45 in the morning yesterday. Officials say it took them about 30 minutes to get the flames under control. The building did sustain some damage inside, but it is not considered a total loss. Fire crews were able to remove war memorabilia and rifles that were stored inside. Some of the items that were saved include signs, trophies, and photographs collected over the decades.
Some of these have been around for quite a while, and some of the stuff that we put up on the board, the flag case there was from a person who passed away that was a member of our post for years. His wife donated that before he died, and the rest is memorabilia.
Now, crews say the cause of this fire is under investigation. Mitchell says the American Legion Post will still host their Memorial Day celebrations despite this fire.